y'all. Welcome to Been There, the podcast where healing meets real life. I'm your host, the Clocked Out Therapist, licensed therapist by trade, professional life survivor by experience. Today kicks off, finally, the Faith and Grit series. We're starting with a heavy hitter, faith over fear. But I didn't just want to do this one solo because faith just isn't something that you can study. It's something that you have to survive. So I had to bring my sister cousin, someone who's walked through storms and still standing strong, Tiffany. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. As you already know, when it comes to choosing faith over fear, I've been there, for real.
So let's get into it. When we talk about faith over fear, people think it's some kind of perfect Instagram moment of faith. But what does it really look like?
Listen, faith in real life, it's messy. It's questioning God at 2 a.m. It's sitting up with your doubts and still waking up and saying, I'm going to trust that you got me again today. I had to learn that faith isn't about not feeling scared. It's about not letting fear make your final decision.
People don't realize fear will have you paralyzed if you really let it. It'll have you stuck in a job you hate, a relationship that drains you, a version of yourself that's too small for where you're supposed to be. So honestly, when was the time you really had to choose faith even though fear was screaming at you, leaving you paralyzed?
I would say the situation that stands out the most would probably be when I moved down to Georgia. Fear was loud. It was like, girl, are you crazy? Your family's up north. You know no one down here. But deep down, I knew staying where I was comfortable would stunt my growth as a woman. Sometimes that's what faith is, betting on the version of you that hasn't fully shown itself yet.
Girl, yes, betting on the version of you that's still becoming and still growing. Because staying in fear feels safe, but it could really cost you everything you could have had, everything you could have been.
Exactly, and man, fear dresses up as wisdom. It'll sound logical. Stay safe, play small, don't take risks, but faith calls you to expand. Faith requires you to trust that what's in you is bigger than what's against you.
Facts. So something I always tell my clients is don't wait until the fear is gone to move, because I feel like so many people wait. I'll do it when I have this. I'll do it when I can do that. But you can move with the fear. That's what activates the faith. Faith says, I see the storm, I feel the shaking, but I'm still stepping out. I'm still pulling up.
Yes, and it's not about never doubting either. It's about doubting and still doing it. Trusting that even if you fail, God still got you.
Sometimes faith feels less like a battle cry and more like a whisper. Kind of just like, hey, just try it again. Honestly, that's enough. Like, Aaliyah, get back up and try it again.
That's right.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something, because I really think just having things to do for yourself and just showing up is good. Tell us, what's one move you'd tell anyone to make if they're battling fear right now?
One move, I say write it down. Whatever's scaring you, whatever dream you've been talking yourself out of, write it down, pray over it, and take one tiny action towards it. Even if it's scary, even if it's shaky, movement is the proof of faith.
Girl, yes, movement is a proof of faith. That's the word. You take one small, scared, faith-filled step this week and do what you gotta do for you. So, big love to Tiffany for being here, sharing her heart, and y'all, this series is just getting started. Like I said, she's somebody who has walked through the mud, and she's still standing here beautifully like the diva she is. So, stay tuned, and like I said, stick around, like, subscribe, leave a review, pass this episode to someone who needs a reminder that fear doesn't run the show anymore, because believing feels like carrying a whole mountain, but when you got faith, that's like walking on water.
There you go.
Right.
I'm clocked out.